Hello. So it's not so bad today. A lot of the tables are occupied, but there were enough tables available for me. I picked this table in particular because it's more in the middle or towards the front. And if I have the camera set up here, you can look behind me and see more of the action going on behind me instead of just a wall. So I'm going to clip my GoPro to the table and order some lunch. Oh, and we've got some Suji pudding on the table already, so that's good. That will be my dessert. And there it is there, Suji pudding. I looked it up online, and it is kind of a flour-based pudding, and this one with coconut flavoring. But I don't know whether it's like wheat flour or rice flour, and everything I saw about it refers to semolina flour. And I don't really know what semolina is, but basically this is some kind of a wheat flour or rice floured pudding with a coconut flavoring. Starting with the mysterious palata, I looked it up online, and palata kind of means like layered dough, which makes a lot of sense because that's essentially what it was, you know, a flour-based kind of a pastry in layers. And with palata, they put meat generally, like minced chicken or minced beef or minced mutton, whatever it is, in the middle, and then fold it over into a square, you know, with onions and cilantro and various spices. And I think it is very similar to martabak in Indonesia, like I said. Online, people seem to say they're not entirely sure what country can claim credit for it. You know, it could be Indian food, could be Indonesian food, Malaysian food. You know, every country has its version of it, and no one is 100% sure the origin country of it. So, palata. And I'm really hungry, so I might end up ordering 2 dishes, maybe fried noodles with chicken and minced mutton palata. We'll go for the mutton this time. Cup of tea and Suji pudding, of course, for dessert. Today, do you have fried noodles with chicken?
Yeah.
And minced mutton palata?
Yeah.
And tea? Yeah, thank you. So that was easy. One of the more simple ordering procedures I've gone through in a while. But he's used to me. That's the same waiter that I had the last time I was here. Like all guest houses in Myanmar, my guest house serves breakfast in the morning. A little bit different though than other places. Most places I've been have served quite a fancy breakfast. This place sticks to a very simple, you know, toast, 2 fried eggs, fruit, coffee, tea, you know, something like that. And it's not buffet style. You sit down at a table and then they come and serve you. I had an interesting discussion this morning with these 2 women from the Netherlands. They're also staying at the guest house, and we sat down for breakfast at the same time, at the same table. And I was telling them that I struggle because I have this habit where I really, really want a cup of coffee, just a cup of coffee, before any food. So I want to sit down at the table, have a cup of coffee, enjoy that coffee, relax. Coffee on an empty stomach is something I really like for some reason. And then after I'm finished my coffee, then I'm interested in food. And when I said that, the 2 women just started laughing because one of the women was exactly the same way, and she has the same struggle. So for this morning, for example, I went down to the breakfast area, and what I wanted to do was go to the coffee pot, serve myself a cup of coffee, So I know I have my coffee right away, sit down at the table and enjoy it. But when I tried to do that, I caused a kind of panic amongst the staff of the guest house, because me serving myself is sort of like them failing in their job as being good hosts. So the woman, the owner and manager of this place, she started making a lot of noise and sort of shouting at some of the young men that were serving and cleaning up. And basically, she practically threw a body block between me and the coffee pot. It was like, no, we will serve you. You know, as if me serving myself means they failed as a guest house. So I really had no choice. I had to just go sit at the table and wait for them to bring me coffee. And from their point of view, that means they're doing a good job. But I'm sitting there waiting for this coffee, eager for this coffee, worried that it's going to come too late. And then another guest left, and he started chatting with the woman. And she got involved in that conversation, completely forgot about my cup of coffee. Meanwhile, I can see the guy frying eggs, getting toast ready, and of course, boom, I got this big meal in front of me, and I didn't get to enjoy my coffee before the meal. The woman from the Netherlands has the same habit, and she said that she's gotten used to eating cold food because this always happens to her too. The food will come at the same time as the coffee, no matter how much she tries not to have that happen. And then she just basically enjoys her coffee and waits. And then the food gets cold while she's enjoying her coffee. But she prefers it that way because she likes to have her coffee first, just like me. So, you know, this morning I got my coffee towards the end of my meal, and I don't enjoy it nearly as much. But then things got even funnier because I finished that cup of coffee with my toast and eggs and everything. And then I had 2 pieces of papaya, I believe, 2 pieces of fruit as part of the breakfast. So I'm eating 1 piece of fruit. I'm halfway through that piece of fruit. And out of nowhere, they bring me a second cup of coffee. I had actually been really looking forward to a second cup of coffee, but I wanted it after my meal, after all the food, after the fruit. Everything's been cleared away. I'm relaxing after breakfast. Now I'm ready for my second cup of coffee. And I had it in my mind, you know, that I was really going to enjoy that. And then I'm eating 1 piece of fruit. I'm in the middle of my fruit, and they bring me a second cup of coffee, which in their mind, they're thinking, wow, we're giving this guy really good service. We're giving him 2 cups of coffee, and he didn't even have to order it. But of course, what they didn't know is that they were screwing up my entire breakfast routine, and I really wanted that coffee after breakfast. And to top off this weird story, there was another guest there for breakfast. I'm not sure what country he was from, an older man. And he came in and sat down, and the woman came to take his order and said, you know, we have coffee, we have tea with milk, coffee with milk, you know, everything they have. And he's one of these people that doesn't want coffee before or with his meal. He only wants coffee after he's done breakfast. So he tried to tell her that and said, yes, I would like coffee, but I want it later. And this woman didn't understand him, and she says, oh, so you don't want coffee? And he's like, yes, I want coffee, but later, you know, after the meal. And they went around and around and around for a long time, and she never could quite understand how he wanted his coffee. So it's funny that foreigners come into these places, foreigners like me, and I really want my coffee before the food. This guy wants his coffee after his food, and neither one of us got what we wanted. So that's kind of funny. And it's one of the reasons, actually, that I travel with my own kettle, because I like to wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee first thing while I'm on my computer, just boil some water, instant coffee, and I really enjoy that. On this trip, though, I don't have a kettle, so yeah, my whole daily routine is screwed up. my meal has started to arrive, and we'll see whether I ordered too much food or not, because this is the fried noodles with egg, or no, chicken. It's fried noodles with chicken. And it's a big plate, a lot of noodles, big fried egg on top. So it's a big kind of oily, I don't know, I was going to say a bit of an oily mess. You know, we'll see how it goes. But then I also ordered the palata, which will also be oily. But I am very hungry, and this will almost certainly be my one meal for the day after breakfast. But breakfast this morning was extremely small. You know, I had 2 pieces of bread and 2 fried eggs. And that was pretty much my breakfast, so it wasn't that filling. Well, there isn't much to say about this meal, I don't think. You can see fried noodles underneath, piece of chicken. That's more flavorful than I expected. A lot of flavor, actually. Wow. And pretty spicy. Kind of back of the throat spiciness going on here. Thank you. Okay. There's the minced mutton palata. It looks different from the chicken one. It looks like a bit lighter, not quite as oily. We'll see. It's good, actually. This is better than the one I had yesterday. The pastry is a bit lighter, a bit fluffier. It's not nearly as oily, you know, a little bit drier. So you get more of the dough taste and the mutton. No, this is good. I'm finished my lunch. Doug's verdict. Would I order this again? No, I don't think I would. You know how they talk about pairings in fine dining? You know, you order the roast chicken and you want to pair it with a nice wine. You know, what goes together? Well, as far as pairings go, a big plate of fried noodles with a fried egg is not the best pairing with fried bread and fried egg. You know, but again, that's one of my many talents. I always pick the items on the menu that just do not go together. But having said that, the minced mutton palata, I like that much better than the chicken one I had yesterday. Maybe they just made it a bit differently, but it was a bit lighter and fluffier in terms of the dough. You got more of a crispy outer layer to the dough and soft dough inside, and it was not quite as oily as the chicken one was. But the fried noodles were pretty darn oily, so it wasn't a great combination. Well, dessert, what do you think? I'm thinking, yeah, how many times am I going to eat in this restaurant and have a Suji pudding right on my table in front of me? Not many times. So I think I have to have one. So there it is there, in case you forgot what it looks like. Suji pudding comes in squares like this. And I'm going to take one of these squares. I don't have a dessert plate, whoops, so it just goes right on top of my palata plate. Just one of them. I think that's okay. I don't think you have to take both. So as I said, I found out online that this is made with semolina flour. I had it yesterday and it was so good. Now I get it. The coconut flavor seems stronger in this one than the one I had yesterday. Or maybe I just didn't notice it as much. Yeah, I like that a lot. Good dessert. And I really like the combination of texture. You've got the inside, which is very, puddingy, but then the top layer, kind of crunchy. I'm not quite sure what that is. Some sort of crunchiness going on there. Another small feature of these tea houses and restaurants in Myanmar that I've noticed, it's a little thing, but it's something I pick up on, that every table has an individual garbage can underneath. Just a small one with a plastic bag inside, a liner. So every table has its own garbage can. And of course, that's something you would never see at a restaurant in Canada. We would have no need for a garbage can at our table. And I think the average Canadian would find it kind of off-putting to have a garbage can at your table, while you're eating. But here at the tea house, for example, they're constantly refilling their tea glasses from pots of tea on the table, and their teacup fills up with tea leaves on the bottom, and they want a fresh cup, so they take their teacup, under the table they go, and they dump it out into the garbage can, dump out the tea leaves, pour fresh tea. And that's kind of what the garbage can is for, mainly. But of course, they can throw all kinds of things into the garbage can, while they're eating their snacks or their lunch. So, just a little feature of this tea house. Another interesting feature maybe is the way these places are often family-based, family-run. So you probably noticed this young boy in the red shirt and shorts, and he's running around serving people at tables. And I noticed that he's serving a lot of cigarettes. So the men at the table, if they want a cigarette, will signal to him. He runs to the counter and gets one of those clear plastic cigarette cases and brings it to the table. They take a cigarette, and he takes the money for the cigarette. Again, it's just an interesting contrast with how things would be in Canada or anywhere in the West, where there are so many rules and regulations. There's no way a young child would legally be allowed to be, selling cigarettes in a place like this. I finished my lunch at the Golden Tea, out on the street now. I'm monitoring the rain, trying to decide if I want to take the risk and go for a little bit of a walk around this neighborhood. The whole meal, I had the fried rice with chicken, the palata minced beef, cup of tea, and Suji pudding, and it came to 6,000 Chat, which is, exactly $4 US. I think for a local person, that's a bit much for lunch. But of course, I was ordering two lunches, basically. The fried noodles was a lunch, and then the palata is a second lunch, really. But I had both of them at the same time because I was a hungry Canadian. The Golden Cafe is like right beside my guest house entrance here, and I'm wondering how busy it's going to be. Since it's raining, no one can sit outside now, So maybe everybody is sitting inside and there won't be a table available. It's also right at lunchtime. I usually wait until after, the lunchtime rush before I go to a restaurant. So we'll see whether I can get a table or not. And I think I'm going to order another palata. I know in the last video I said I wouldn't order it again, but I'm going to give it another chance. Maybe go for the mutton palata this time, along with something else. And I think I'm going to have Suji pudding again. I thought that was very tasty.